Fifth graders, welcome to Eureka Math. This is Module 1, Lesson 1. So we're actually starting the fifth grade book. I hope you're excited. You will need your Learn book, the book that says Learn on the top, the one that says Module 1. It might say Module 1 and Module 2. I don't have it right in front of me, but you will need to find Lesson 1, Module 1. And on the first page of that book, there's a section, or it's a single page, that says application problem. And we're not going to do that application problem in this video. We'll do that in class. So you can turn the page to the next page and we'll start on the problem set. But before we get there, I want to go through the Lesson 1 objective. Okay, our objective, or what we want to accomplish in this lesson, is to reason concretely and pictorially using place value understanding to relate adjacent base 10 units from millions to thousands. Oh, that is a mouthful. I'm not sure I understand what it means. So we are going to pick it apart and go through word by word what it is they want us to learn today. So reason means think, okay? We're going to be able to think concretely, right, using our brains, with numbers. Think with numbers. And pictorially, that means and with pictures. So we're going to use pictures and numbers to find place value, okay? And you should remember what place value is from fourth grade. Understanding to relate adjacent base 10 units from millions to thousands. So basically what that means is we're going to use place value and we're going to multiply it by tens to move numbers up and down, okay? So adjacent base 10 units. When they say base 10, that means we're going to be multiplying by 10 or dividing by 10 to make numbers bigger or smaller on our place value chart, okay? So let's go to that place value chart. All right, there's a Lesson 1 template in your book. If you can't find it, I think flip ahead. And here's our place value chart, okay? From now on, I'm just going to call this our place value chart. And we will be using it a lot. And I know most of you used this last year, okay, in fourth grade, if you were in Eureka Math, which the majority of you should have been, okay? So, first of all, we have ones. One, you know what a one is. Tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, and millions. That should be pretty easy. I'm going to erase this actually because I want to use a spot right above it. So if I write a number like 6,543,000ths and 217, right? It looks like we're using bolivars. That's what things cost in Venezuela, isn't it? Bolivars. The dollar is at 4 million bolivars today. So this is actually important stuff that we do use every day, especially here in Venezuela. All the way to the millions, right? Millions, 100,000s, 10,000s, thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones, okay? So when we're looking at these numbers, if I said, what is 5? You could say 5 is in the 100,000s place. And 2 is in the hundreds place. Now, if I have a point here or a period there, and I put a 4, 9, 8 there, then I've got my tenths, my hundredths, and my thousands. But I need a decimal, and look carefully. This isn't tens, this is tenths. And this isn't hundreds, this is hundredths. And this isn't thousands, this is thousands, okay? So, let's find a number. If I use the number 632, and I multiply that number by 10, where am I going to go on the number chart? I'm multiplying, so that means I'm making the number bigger. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm just going to add a 0 and move every number over 1, okay? And here I actually have a 0 because there's nothing there, so I can just add that 0 and 2 and 3 and 6, and I can tell you that 632 times 10 equals 6,320. Do you understand? Now if I use decimals, and I'm going to erase these, the same thing happens, right? So if I choose $19.25, for example, and I want to buy 10, let's say a new shirt costs $19.25, and I want to buy 10 new shirts. So I'm going to have to multiply 10 times $19.25. I would multiply by 10. That means I would move every single thing over 1 space. And there's a 0 here. Even though it's invisible, there's a 0 there, so I'm going to move that over too. So now I have $19 turns into $192.50. Okay? So this is how much it would cost if I bought 10 shirts. Does that make sense? Now, what happens if I divide by 10? So I'm going to put it on the other side. Let's say I have, let's see, 254 pieces of candy. And I want to divide those between my 10 friends, okay? So I'm going to divide that by 10. So I'm going to, instead of going this way, because I'm not making my number bigger, now I'm going the other way. So I'm going to put an arrow here, and an arrow here, and an arrow here, okay? And now instead of 254 pieces of candy, each person is going to get 25 and 4/10. All right, now 4/10 isn't actually a piece of candy. You're probably going to have to just give them 25, and then there's going to be a few extras, right? So maybe not the best example. Let's try another one. This time I'm going to use decimals. What happens if I have, let's see, 3,652 and 3, I don't know, 0.3, I can't think of anything right now, okay? And I want to divide that, I was going to try and tell you a story problem, but I'm just going to use the numbers. Now if I divide that by 10, I want to move the numbers this way. Okay? So dividing means they go this way, and multiplying they go this way. So the 3 moves here, the 6 moves here, the 5, the 2, and 3. Now I have 365 and 23. Okay, and 23/100ths. Now we could write that as a fraction too. 23/100ths or 3/10. All right, so that is our place value chart, and we're going to use it a lot, but I just wanted to kind of introduce you to it. Now let's get back to that problem set. Lesson 1 problem set in your Learn book. So we're going to do this together. We're going to go through number 1. Okay. Use your place, write your name on your paper. Use your place value chart and arrows to show how the value of each digit changes. The first one has been done for you. So they started with 3 and 452 thousandths. So if I were to write that as a fraction, it would be 3 and 452 thousandths, right? And they multiplied that by 10. So what did they do? They just moved everything over, and our new answer is 34 and 52 tenths, or hundredths, sorry. This is thousandths. Okay, and I could write that as 34 and 52 hundredths. All right, you see what's happening there? So let's try the next one. Okay, this time it's not multiplying by 10, we're multiplying by 100. That means we're going to go not just over once, we're going to go over twice. So let's write the number in first. So there's my decimal point. I have 3 and 452 thousandths. And I want to multiply that number by 100. So I'm making it bigger. That means I need to go this way. And here's my ones and my tens and my hundreds and my thousandths. Okay, and here are my tenths and my hundredths and my thousandths. Now I want to multiply by 100, so I'm going to move over 2 spaces. Not just here, I'm going to go all the way up here. This is what they were talking about pictorially. We're drawing a picture. Okay, and that one's going there. And this is going here. And that's going there. See how they all moved over 2 spaces? So my new answer is 345 and 2/10. Okay, and if we were to do that using multiplication the standard way, it would turn out the same way. So let's do it another one. And I have 3 and 452. Okay, did you notice that they're using the same number for all 3? Did you notice that? Okay. Now I'm going to multiply by thousandths. So if you've seen the pattern, here there was 1 0, so I moved over once. Here there are 2 zeros, so I moved over twice. What do you think I'm going to do now? There's 3 zeros, so I'm going to move all the way over here. 1, 2, 3 spaces over. And what we're doing is we're multiplying decimals. Okay, and my new answer is that those arrows got a little messy. 3,452. And I don't even have a decimal, it's 0, right? There's nothing there. So my new answer is 3,452. Okay. Explain how and why the value of 5 changes in A, B, and C. Okay, so here's our 5. I'm going to change colors. Right? There's our 5, there's a 5, and there's a 5. Explain how and why the value of 5 changes in A, B, and C. So it was, first, we had 5 100ths, right? It's basically 5 100ths. And we multiplied it by 10. Then we took 5 100ths and we multiplied it by 100. And then we took 5 100ths. We multiplied it by 1,000. Right? Oop, there's another 0 there. So what happened there? That went from 5/10. I'm sorry, that's tenths. That went from 5/10 to 5. No, it was 500ths. Sorry about that. Yeah. It's getting confused. Okay, we went from 5 100ths to 5/10. Right? Equals 5/10. And here we went from 5 100ths to 5. And here we went from 5 100ths to 50. Okay, oops, there are too many there. All right, can you see that pattern? 5 100ths times 10 equals 5/10. 5 100ths times 100 equals 5. 5 100ths times 1,000 equals 50. That's what we did. Explain how and why the value of 5 changed. So we just kept multiplying by 10. 10 times 10 times 10. Or we could say 5 hundredths. I'm using unit form. Here I'm using fraction form. Up here we use decimal form. 5 hundredths. Hundredths. It's a hard word to say. Times 10. And here we used 5 hundredths. Well, what is 100, right? Times 10 times 10, right? 10 times 10 equals 100. And here, 5 hundredths times, what is 1,000? 10 times 10 times 10. Okay? So how and why the value of 5 changed in A, B, and C? We were multiplying 5 by tens. Okay. All right. Let's go to number 2. Now this is division. Remember, division goes the other direction. Use the place value chart and arrows to show how the value of each digit changes. The first one has been done for you. So now we're starting with 345. Okay? And we're dividing, so we're going, that's just dividing by 10, so we're going over 1. And our new answer is 34 and 5/10. Up here, if you wanted to write in those numbers, here 3,452, and here this would be 345.2 and 34.52. Okay. Sorry about that. We should have written those in. Now let's draw it again. 3, 4, 5, 345. This is our ones and our tens and our hundreds. And we're dividing by 100, so we're going to move it over 2 spaces. So this is going to go here. This is going to go here. This is going to go there. And our new number is 3 and 45 hundredths. Okay, so 3 45 hundredths. This is pretty easy, isn't it? I think it maybe looked complicated at first, but it's actually not that hard. 3, 4, 5, 345. Now this is thousands, so there's 1, 2, 3 zeros. So I'm going to go all the way over. 1, 2, 3. This one, 1, 2, 3. And this one, 1, 2, 3. So my new answer is 345 thousandths. And I'm just going to put a 0 here. Now, anytime there's something missing from the box, it's a 0. And I just feel like I'm a little bit more comfortable putting the 0 there. That's up to you. 0.345. Okay, so I'll put that there. Explain how and why the value of the 4 changes in the quotients A, B, and C. Quotient means division, right? So, first it was 4 tens. And then we divided it by 10. And we got 4 ones. Then we had 4 tens. And we divided by 10 times 10, or 100. And we got 4 tenths. Then we had 4 tens. And we divided it by 10 times 10 times 10, right? Because 10 times 10 times 10 equals 1,000. And we got 4 hundredths. So what happened here? We divided 4 by 10. Okay. All right, next one, number 3. A manufacturer made 7,000, I'm going to change colors here because this yellow is a little bit hard to see sometimes. Made 7,234 boxes of coffee stirrers. Okay, so when you make coffee and you get the little cardboard wooden thing to stir the milk into your coffee, maybe you've seen your parents have that. Or I use the spoon, but there are actual stirrers. That's a hard word to say too, stirrers. Stir, and then something that stirs is a stirrer, and then we have to double the R because of spelling. Okay. Each box, sorry, sidetrack, language arts, word work. A manufacturer made 7,234 boxes of coffee stirrers. Each box contains 1,000 stirrers. How many more stirrers did they make? Okay, explain your thinking and include a statement of the solution. Okay, so they made 7,234 boxes. And each box contains 1,000 stirrers. So how many stirrers did they make? So we're going to have to multiply the boxes times the contents of the box, right? To find stirrers. That's such a hard word to say. Okay, and what's our answer? Well, if we're going to multiply by 3, 1, 2, 3, we can just add 3 zeros on the end because we're going to move this. Now just pretend. You don't have to pretend, we'll just draw it. I'm going to add here my very own place value chart. And there's my ones, my tens, my hundreds, my thousandths, and then I'm going to need 10,000ths, 100,000ths, and millions because I'm multiplying by 3, so I need 3 more spaces, okay? So 7,000 times 1,000 goes here, right? 1, 2, 3, so that's 100,000, 700,000. Then 200 times 1,000 is 20,000, or two 10,000ths, and 30 times 1,000, okay, would be 3,000, or I'm sorry, 30,000, and then 4 goes there. All right, so I just moved everything over 3 spaces. All right, and then I had to add 3 zeros on the end because my decimal point's here and I have to go all the way to the decimal point. So here I've got my ones, my tens, my hundreds, my thousandths, my 10,000ths, my 100,000ths, and then my millions there. So my new answer is 7 million and then I can say 234,000, or I could say 200 thousandths. Let's do that. 200 thousandths. I'm using unit form. I want you to practice using unit form. Then I have 3 10,000ths. 4,000, sorry, there's no TH there, thousands. We were just talking about decimals, and so I was adding my TH there, and I shouldn't have. Sorry about that. Okay, 10,000s, 4,000s. Okay, and then I have 0 hundreds, 0 tens, and 0 ones. Okay. 7,234,000 stirrers. Okay, and explain our thinking. We did it with our drawing. Okay. Number 4, a student used his place value chart to show a number. After the teacher instructed him to multiply his number by 10, the chart showed 3,204 tenths. Draw a picture of the place value chart looked like at first. Well, then we're going to add another one here. Ooh, that was a terrible line. Let's go ahead and, so this is what it looked like afterwards. We're going to draw that in. So afterwards, it was 3,204 tenths. Okay. After the teacher instructed him to multiply his number by 10, the chart showed 3,204 tenths. So draw a picture of what the place value chart looked like at first. So if he multiplied it, that means he went this way, doesn't it? And he just multiplied it by 10. So what we've got here, and I'm just going to see if I can, so we don't know this number, but we do know, oh, I wish I had more space. Let me see. I'll just draw it up here. So we don't know what the original number was, right? But we know he multiplied it by 10. And then we knew that the answer was 3,204. So we can reason, we can think, okay, well, if he multiplied it by 10, I can take this number and I can just draw it in the chart below, right? And I can recreate the first number, which would have been 3,204, which would have been, so this number here, the missing one, would have been 320 and 4 hundredths. Okay, so that's one way. That's one way, and you can do it that way. Or, I'm going to show you another way. We can take the answer, right? We can take this answer that the teacher gave us, or that we came up with, 3,204 tenths. And because we know that they multiplied by 10 to get that, what we can do is we can do the same thing, and we could just take this number, okay, this would equal 3,204 tenths divided by 10 would equal that. Because this problem and this problem are the same, because division is the opposite of multiplication. Okay? So this number times 10 equals that, but that divided by 10 equals, what does it equal? So dividing by 10, that means we're going to go this way. Right? And dividing goes this way. That's going to give us 320 and 4 hundredths. It's the same answer, isn't it? So if you want to think about it this way, cool. You're just going to have to write the answer and then go backwards. Or if you want to think about it this way, you can write the answer here and divide. Your choice. However that makes the most sense to you. Explain how you decided what to draw on your place value chart. Be sure to include your reasoning and how the value of each digit was affected by the multiplication. Use words, pictures, or numbers. So we did both. So I'm going to put this here. We put the answer underneath the chart and worked backwards, right? Or we did the other way. We put the answer in the chart and divided by 10. Both are correct. Okay. Number 5. Let's see, are we almost done there? Yes, this is the last one. A microscope has a setting that magnifies an object so that it appears 100 times as large when viewed through the eyepiece. This is like my reading glasses, right? If a tiny insect, I'm going to draw it because I can't resist. Look at this cute little insect I'm about to draw. So cute. Okay. Oh, look at that. Insects usually have 6 legs. Okay, look. Oh, he's so cute. I'm going to give him a little mouth there. All right. If a tiny insect is, from here to here, 0.095 or 95 thousandths of a centimeter long, how long will the insect appear in centimeters through the microscope? Okay, so there it is. Now we're going to take a big old microscope, right? Kind of like a, right? And we're going to look at it, and this microscope is going to multiply it by 100 so we can see it a little bit better. And our answer is going to be this original number times 100, okay? And then we're going to be able to see what we're looking at. So here's my place value chart. I'm just going to go ahead and draw one over here. And I've got, let's see, 500, 5 thousandths, 9 hundredths, 0 tenths, and 0 ones. And I'm going to multiply 100 by 100, so there's my decimal point there. I'm going to multiply by 100, so that means I'm going to move everything over 2. Okay, and I'm going down the page here a little bit, but that's okay. And my new answer is 95, okay, and 0, and there's a 0 ahead of it too. So my new answer equals 95 centimeters. That's what it's going to appear to be. No, sorry. Did I do that wrong? I did. Sorry, I got a little carried away there. I hope you caught that mistake. Sometimes I make mistakes. Okay, so I moved it over 2, but I miscounted. So 2, 9, 5. And it just didn't make sense to me. So 9.5 centimeters. All right? And another way I can look at that is if I'm multiplying, I'm going to change colors. Here's another trick. If I'm multiplying by 100, that just means I'm going to move this decimal point to the right 2 spaces. And my new answer is 9.5. Okay? Or I can use my decimal chart. Place value chart. All right. So how do we know? We moved it over. We used the chart. We moved the decimals. All right. Now, our objective was, let's see if we did our objective. Think or reason concretely and pictorially. So we used our words and we used numbers and we used pictures and we used our place value chart to understand adjacent base 10 units. That means that every single place on our place value chart is 10 times bigger and 10 times smaller. So if this is the ones, and this is tens, and this is hundreds, and this is thousands, and this is 1/10, and 1/100th, and 1/1000th, and you can do 1/10,000th if you really want to, but that's getting really, really small, okay? And you can go this way to 10 thousandths. Basically what we want to say is this, if you go this way, you're multiplying by 10. And if you go this way, you're dividing by 10. Okay? Just up and down the chart. So 1 divided by 10 is 1/10. 1/10 divided by 10 is 1/100th. 1/100th divided by 10 is 1/1000th. 1 times 10 is 10. 10 times 10 is 100. 100 times 10 is 1,000, okay? So multiply by 10 goes this way, and divide by 10 goes this way on the place value chart. That's what I want you to understand. From millions to thousandths. All right? So I'm actually going to erase this one. Okay, so millions, there's 10, there's 100, there's a million, there's 100 thousandths, and a million. Okay, so millions is here, and thousandths is here, and we went all the way from one to the other by multiplying by 10 and divided by 10. So I think we accomplished our goal. If you have any questions, let me know. Please, I hope that while you were following along that you were filling out your problem set, because I will look at it in the classroom. If you didn't, go back. You can re-watch the video as many times as you want. And if you have questions about the video, go back and watch it again. Okay. All right. Have a great day.